Colleagues and family have paid their last respects to sport analyst and journalist David Kekana at a memorial service held in Randburg, north of Johannesburg today. Kekana passed away on Sunday after battling diabetes. He joined the SABC sports department in 2000, working as a football analyst and a scriptwriter for Soccer Zone. He later joined Soccer 411 and spotted 10 football programs as a journalist. Kekana has been renowned for his thorough research on all matters related to football. And for more now on the proceedings, we have in studio with us our SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane, who's been covering the story. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so firstly, was this a memorial service or was it a service in general? Because we know that a cremation took place after the service.
Yes, it was both. It was a funeral memorial service, so it was generally a service to remember the lives and the times of Mr. Kekana.
But mixed emotions really when Mahlako, it was a somber mood, but at the same time you had people coming out to celebrate his life.
Oh yes, definitely. He was remembered, as you read earlier on, that he was a very passionate man, very passionate about his game. Some of his colleagues describing him as a man that went, beyond the call of duty, that when he actually went into his research, he left no stone untouched, and also just saying that jovial and friendly as he was, remembered as a man with a smile, very friendly, but when he was passionate about a topic and he wanted to get that across, that he did not mind to argue with anybody, but all in the name of the game and making sure that the viewer is served the best that the brand can give to the viewer.
A lot of people talking about his contagious smile at the same time, but I think most importantly, speakers remembering him for his ability to nurture young talent.
Oh yes, definitely. His ability to nurture talent was, there were a lot of people that also wrote and also came and said, when the story broke, they also went on social media saying that I was groomed by this man. He took me under his arms. Lindan Bese was one of those, as well as Andile Mngube saying that he was a man, as they would call it. Timba was also there saying that as well, saying that he was very generous with himself, very generous with his students, and a love of life. And there was one particular story that was told where they told us that, this man lived. In his 47 years of life, he lived that he left no, there was nothing that he did not do. But also quite emotional, seeing the daughter, the youngest daughter, breaking down in tears, speaking and narrating how her father was there, saying, I got my colors, my father was there. Anything that she needed as a child, the father was there for her, supporting her and just ensuring that he played that role, saying that in the 12 years that I've lived, you've been such a great father to me. Very phenomenal man. And also the mother's tribute that was read by Andile Mngube, also saying that, my only son, I'm so sad, a mother describing that she's watched him grow from childhood up until he became the mature man that he was. And also a family member also spoke, saying that, he has done them proud as a family. So we saw the man behind what we see on our screens every day, and he was laid bare to see that really his family were really, really proud of him, and he had played that integral part as a son, as a father, and a colleague.
Yes, indeed. Of course, the family, they're saying that David was able to carry the family's name with dignity. Now, when the news came through earlier this week, we saw, of course, condolences coming through from all walks of life. Who was present at the funeral today? From the sports fraternity, important.
From the sports fraternity, the people that are at the top of my head that we saw Dr. Kumalo, we saw Matthew Booth was there, Brian Baloyi was there. There was just so many of them, and also saw some politicians as well. Julius Malema was also there. MEC Mbali Mhlophe was also there, and MEC Mayile was also there. And also the SABC sports journalists or sports broadcasters were also there. Kwenamalo was also there, as well as Yolindane were also there. Just speaking about this man and who he was to them as a colleague.
All right, Mahlako, we'll leave it at that. Many thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
Now, SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane, who's been covering the memorial service and the funeral service. As she said, it was 2 in 1, as you say, today, where David Kekana was remembered. All right, we are now taking a quick